Hey, it's time for some Loothing. Today I'm going to go to New York City and gab with my pal Evan Gluck. Evan has been a guitar maintenance fixture in New York City since the glory days of 48th Street when he worked at Manny's Music. The price of New York commercial real estate has long since run off most of those old guitar stores, and now Evan works out of his apartment on the Upper West Side. He runs a tight ship and earns enough to live in New York City from munching on guitars, so I'm super interested in what that looks like and how it works. Come check it out. I talk to him about the business, I go through his drawers full of guitar goodies, and I ask him about his favorite widgets. If you would like to see Evan demonstrate how he sets up bass guitars, that's available at Patreon/IanHatesGuitars.
Hey, it's so good to see you. Welcome to New York Guitar Repair. Come on in.
About this board over here to kick things off, anything?
Oh, this is a 100-year-old German concert zither.
Uh-huh.
When I worked in my old store, I used to have a whole bunch of weird stuff in the window. So
Yeah.
that's one of the weird guys.
This is your weird stuff.
This is my weird stuff. Above is what I like to have. It's pictures of my competition in New York because I like to show my customers that this is not the place to talk crap about people because I'm friends with
nice,
them.
Yeah.
So, or I can say, why don't you say it to their face? They're right here.
They're right here.
This is my favorite thing in the shop. This is a Strat Trem Claw that I repurposed into a business card holder.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's nice.
Hang on.
That's nice. Very nice. Oh, look at that. Look at that. A little wobbly, but we'll allow it.
Exactly.
How you liking those Music Nomad nut files?
Well, I use, for guitar stuff, I generally use the StewMac Diamond ones, but for the bass stuff, these are like indispensable. I love them to death.
Okay, cool.
Little files, these guys, all my rulers and crap like that, a level.
Is it true what Stevie Nicks says about those making bad lovers? Have you ever tried?
I haven't. But
Okay. Yeah.
the fret bars, which are fantastic.
Can you pull one of those down?
Yeah.
Pull that shorty down.
Use this guy constantly.
What is this?
It's
Hold
this.
on a second.
It's for, I use these for regular leveling without the strings on, but they're great for understring leveling too.
Oh, understring leveler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want the history of these?
Kinda.
Okay, so years ago, I was on a forum, and Rick Turner posted on a forum that the way he leveled frets was using angled aluminum stock, which is these guys. And because it was an internet forum, people were like saying that's the worst idea I've ever heard, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait a minute, this would cost like $1 or $2. So I invested wisely in these. And these guys changed my life. So basically what you can do is when the strings are on the instrument, you can slip underneath them, level the frets, right? And then, when you're done, you can play it while you're leveling the frets to make sure you've eliminated any high spots or you're getting clean bends, blah, blah, blah. And then take the strings off and crown on the frets. What I used to do when I would travel around to other people's shops in New York is I would bring them these and I would give them these. And I remember giving one to my buddy Matt at 30th Street Guitars. And a couple of weeks later I show up and he's got them all over his bench. Then, about a year later, he says, check these out. And he made some prototypes for what then became the fret bar.
Wow, does Matt do a little milling? That looks like it smells.
He had a buddy who
cool.
who did this for him. Matt came up with the design and did it. And I was hesitant at first because I really liked mine. And then when he gave them to me, I tried them. I was like, okay, this is having a little left is a lot better. So.
So and the black ones are variant. Who's fry bar?
Fret bar.
Fret bar.
Fret bar.
Okay.
Yeah. So Matt hit it out of the park with these things, and they're fantastic. The only bad thing or whatever is StewMac doesn't make this one for sale. They sent me one. It's a prototype. It's a long one for basses.
Yeah.
But so I think these are the three that are available.
What's your How many basses? I mean, what percentage of your work is basses, would you say?
Well, I mean, because there's more guitarists than bassists, I'd say probably 40%. You know.
What's going on up here?
What do we got? All little things like saddles, lots of saddles, string trees. You know, I build a lot of guitars for people from crap, Floyd Rose stuff because the 80s is coming back. Blades, weird stuff, strap buttons. Everyone wants a strap button. Weird stuff, dowels, lots of wrenches. You know, my concept is keep everything behind me rather than in front of me, so I'm never dragging a tool over the instrument.
Exactly.
So these are all wrenches and screwdrivers, and this is what I cut strings with, and been using this for 1,000 years for 2 pneumatic bridges.
Yeah.
You know, just reaching up underneath them. Drill bits. These are the StuMac diamond nut files, which
How are you liking those?
love them.
Yeah.
Love them.
You got the originals there.
Yeah. Yeah, I have so many nut files not
The
visible.
ubiquitous Shaler screw kit.
Yeah, those are my own screws, though. Amplifiers. I use this guy for electric guitar because it's just clean. I don't need the guitar to sound like anything else other than clean.
Jeez.
Then I have an Aguilar bass head and a 12-inch speaker. Fishman for acoustic guitars. You know, I had tried doing acoustic guitar pickup installs using a regular amplifier, like a guitar amp, and you just weren't getting the high end right,
Yeah.
so I couldn't tell what it was doing. So I got one. I was like, oh yeah, I'm a Fishman dealer, so I can buy one. The ubiquitous StuMac tape dispenser, super organized.
So what about this belt sander back there? How are you not kicking up dust in your home?
I am kicking up dust, but it feeds into the cardboard box.
You got a dust collector.
Yeah,
back
this
in
is
here.
there are things I don't do because of the dust involved, like routing and stuff like that, finish work. But I can belt sand a saddle or two every now and then, and it doesn't kill me.
How much you liking that glue boost?
Love that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one drill, right, in the cradle there, all that does is input jacks on acoustic guitars. It's perfectly square. If I ever drop it, I will buy a new drill. Clamps, some extra parts and stuff like that.
So-
Ian Davlin up there.
Hey, it's me.
It's you.
Yeah, you can't see because of the glare, but yeah, Evan and I go way back.
Go.
So you got good lights in here. Did you wire these in yourself, or did these come with the?
No, I wired the lights. I needed. I wanted a light on the headstock, and I wanted a light over the belt sander. So I did that.
Is this your sum total of parts supply? Or are you not like stocking a bunch of parts?
No, I have more parts than that. Well, like
parts?
in here, let's see, 2 pneumatic bridges, neck plates, pickup, bridge pins, knobs, more switches.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a ton of little parts in here too.
What's in the Husky?
What's not in the Husky?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I cleaned this for you yesterday. Little super glue caddy, wonderful stuff from Doug Proper, Mark's amp, which I
Mark's
love.
amp, yep. For those that don't know Jam Jar amps, these little Bad Larrys are pretty cool.
They're awesome. So in here is micro mesh and some sanding stuff for doing mostly like fretwork stuff. Mirrors for acoustic guitars. This is for Danny West. This is what trashed the finish on his guitar. Then in this one is rags. When I'm doing soldering work on a guitar, rather than having templates, I kind of cover the guitar with rags so I can just get it everywhere so that solder won't drip on the guitar. And we got gloves, we got sanding wheels, this I got from you.
Yeah, man.
This is Gorgamite for frets.
You like the Gorgamite?
Love it. Use it
Okay,
all the
cool.
time. Foam, can't tell you how much important foam is. Best foam in the world.
Yeah.
I sent this to Doc. It cost me $35 to send a piece of foam like this to Doc.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
he
good
needed
stuff.
foam for a Gretsch mute, and I was like, dude, I have the stuff.
That's good squishy.
Yep. It's great. I use it for pickup height adjustments on basses and stuff like that. Q-tips, StuMac neck shims for electric guitars, little shim stock and stuff like that. Bone from Doug. The markers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For those not hip to it, Doug did a great 17-part series on shellac and these shellac touch-ups and these markers from Mohawk. were featured prominently.
These things are
I have
fantastic.
yet to try them out yet.
They're great. And here's, if I ever get into drug dealing, here's my plastic bag collection.
Yeah.
This light bulb, I don't have the adapter for it, but what this is a plasma bulb. So what I used to do with really like tweaky customers is I'd plug this thing in, and lightning would come out of this thing, and I'd wave it over their guitar, and I go, oh, I see the problem.
Yeah.
In here is fret wire, spare electronics, wire, and stuff like that.
Like a ton of caps there, too.
Yeah, this is what happens when you order the wrong size cap.
Oh, wow.
Ton of caps.
All right, cool. Got you a neck jig back there?
Neck jig and more Total Vice stuff.
I see you got a lot of Total Vice here.
Yeah.
What about these draws?
Okay, let me put these back first. Hang on.
All right, get over here.
Okay, this drawer is
You giving it that?
humidifiers, pads for putting oils on, capos and string winders, rubber bands, some glue syringes, I suppose.
Yes.
Yep. This is the cable that
How
goes
much?
to the
How much
tuner.
repair versus setup work are you doing now?
What constitutes a repair?
I don't know, like broken output jack even.
Oh
like,
God, tons. It's about equal. I mean, I do a ton of electronic work.
What do you get for changing an output jack?
Depends on the guitar. You know, if it's like just a Strat, like $20. You know.
$20.
$20 is like my minimum price to do anything.
Minimum bench charge.
Yeah. Multimeter, little electronic stuff, shrink tubing and stuff. These are all weird caps and stuff for like Jazzmaster circuits and stuff, Jaguar circuits, sort of like lesser used stuff. This is fret stuff, right? And also like headstock and crack repair stuff. This is my favorite call in the world for headstock repairs, believe it or not. It's a little piece of plexiglass that's cracked in a bunch of places with leather on it. So when I clamp it, I can really smush down on it, and it kind of conforms. So I've been using this for a million years. I also use little pieces of leather for the tops of the clamps when I'm doing a headstock repair, because I kind of am into doing pinpoint gluing. So where you're pushing down specifically on parts that might be raised a little bit. So I use a lot of these guys. Then I have the TJ Thompson, stuff.
Yes.
The bridge stuff. What else is in here? This is my favorite thing. I use this to burnish headstock repair cracks. So it's just a really.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. We might have to. Might have to do a demo of that one of these
I don't
days.
have a broken headstock, but I can show you, conceptually what it is. Then this is pipettes, belts, little belt sanders, glue brushes, syringes, more pipettes, saw blades, more syringes, tuners for these are just loose classical tuners and parts and stuff like that. I think everybody has these bins and stuff, so when you're reaching for something, you can just grab it. Then this guy is tuners. So bass tuners, guitar tuners.
Are you changing a lot of tuners?
Yeah, I changed a lot of tuners.
Yeah. It really does.
Yeah.
It really does suck to try to set up a guitar that the tuners don't.
But a lot of
work on.
times, I'll buy a set of Kluson tuners and break them up, so that I don't have to charge somebody for a full set of tuners. I can just give them one tuner, and then after an amount of time, it pays off for itself. Single strings, so every single string.
Yep.
Right? Strings, tons of strings.
Yep.
Guitar strings. There's bass strings behind you.
Will you come over and organize my shop?
Fuck. This is kind of acoustic guitar repair stuff.
Yeah. Little spool clamp action.
Yeah. Spool clamps, the spatulas, cleat material, heat lamp stuff, magnets, the TJ Thompson stuff.
That bridge puller, you use that much?
Which bridge puller? This guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've yet to use that.
I
It's
liked
like a
it.
good thing.
I thought I had another one. I have a prototype they gave me. But yeah, I've used this a lot. String on a stick.
Oh yeah. What's that for?
there's no pickups on the guitar, you can test the pickups.
Doing, doing, doing.
Doing, doing, doing. Then my favorite mod is my screwdrivers that are drilled into here. So these are like the screwdrivers you use every 5 seconds. So I can just pull them out.
So you're ready.
And put them back in. My little action adjustment card. My glasses. And my nut rescue kit. Magnetized to this side of the Total Vice thing.
How much are you using that?
I use it a bit. It's good stuff.
I haven't tried it yet.
I mean, I've used the dental light stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
And this stuff I like better.
Cool.
Then we got strings here. Reference books, I mean, the only one I've looked at recently is Jerry Hayes's, which is fantastic.
Yeah, Jerry's got a
bad
book.
A couple of weeks ago, my internet blew out and I needed a wiring diagram, and I was like, damn it. And then I was like, wait a minute. And it was page 325.
Yeah.
It's perfect. So thank you, Jerry.
I used that book already.
Oh my God, it's fantastic.
It's a lifesaver.
He's a genius. These are just bins of stuff that I don't use a lot or overstock, like tape, sanding, adhesive back sanding, clamps that I rarely use, neck puller, the StuMac neck puller thing. This is polishes and stuff, buffing compound, which you hit me to. Love this stuff. This stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that stuff. This is a whole bunch. Oh, wow, I have more foam. Didn't know.
Where did that come from? Is that from pickups or something?
No, it's from a specific input jack.
Yeah.
It's a super fancy, expensive input jack that this customer of mine has had me install like dozens of. So that's why I have all this foam. I go to the NAMM show, and they're there, and they're like, they're hawking their stuff. They're like, "Are you familiar with our input jacks?" I was like, "Dude, the foam!" And then they got this guy from the back, and he's like, "This guy loves the foam." It's pretty funny, actually. I think I have some Taylor shims in here. Yeah, stuff like that. What do we got? Here's the dental light stuff.
No more, huh?
Not so much. Here's stuff that I don't use anymore, like stains and dyes and stuff. Pickup rings, oh my God. Here's all my fretting tools and stuff. Or
You doing a lot of frets these days?
It comes. I try not to. It's the thing is this. It's like I have tendonitis, and from doing fretwork for so long, and so I'm like kind of fiercely protective of that. And so the way I do it is that if you cold call me for a fret job and I don't know you, I just refer you to people I trust.
Yeah.
If you're grandfathered in, I've been doing work for you for a million years and my hands are in good shape, I'll do the fret job.
Yeah.
So, and I like doing fret jobs. I do them well. You know what I mean? And it makes me feel like a luthier when I do them, and not just like a repair guy at a tech, This is the thing we need to
Oh yeah,
make.
that's the Frankfurt. Is that an early one or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is like prototype. I got this from Frank at a GAL convention.
Membership has its privileges.
Frank Ford.
Yeah.
So we got that. We got more fretting tools, paperwork and stuff, and radius calls.
Yep.
Glue. Is that about it? Total Vice. Oh yeah. I mean, I have a pretty unique way of doing my Total Vice.
Yeah, you got the neck block off the bench.
Well, look at the side.
Yeah.
If you come from the side, you can see how I mounted this. Because I needed it to sink to the height of the bench or lower, and then go up. So these are actually tensioning rods. So if it ever loosens up, I can tighten these against the bench to keep it all firm. And I had Jeff at Total Vice cut down the speed racks. So I have one on each side. And then I got the swing out pedestal.
Yeah.
So I can
swing that bad
swing that out. I can put the neck jig here. I can do whatever and get everything off the bench. Or slide this over, put this here, put the neck jig there, slide that over. So yeah, I love it. It's great.
Cool.
Great stuff. And then I have a number 7 vise floating around here somewhere. But Doug Proper looked at my setup and he's like, dude, I'm going to make you something for your shop. And he made me this cradle. Let me grab this guy. He made me a neck cradle, but I liked what I do with the StuMac ones a little better. Like I use their roller neck things, and then I glue and tack leather to them so that they're super soft.
Yep.
And then I drilled a hole through it, and I can,
So that will roll.
Yeah. So
Okay, cool.
So it's self-leveling, basically,
Yeah.
And, you know, like if I'm working on a fender, I usually don't like this angle. Do you see how it goes down like this? So
Yep.
I'll do something like this.
Put your block under there.
So this is leather cork wood. And then get one underneath the neck block or the neck joint, and then lower this to where it's touching on all points.
Then you're ready. You're stable.
Yeah, and then I can do fret work on this. I'm not worried about cracking the neck joint. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the side things here?
Yeah.
Because everything's kind of level. Then I can just lock that down, and now it's a nice, stable thingy. And then in front of me, you know, tuner, capo, string winder. This is stuff for fretboards and frets. Coffee, polish. The thing that gets emptied every 6 months of just weird crap I've pulled out of people's guitars. And I just put it there, and then I have to empty it.
And then you got do you sort it or do you throw it away?
I look through it for screws, and then I'll throw it away, or anything that might be useful, and there's never anything good in there.
How you liking this tuner?
Well, I bought it because it's purple. Yeah, I had exactly the same one that was orange, and then they came out with a new model, and they said you could turn colors on it. So I was like, yes, all right, this shows you that the internet is not accurate.
Don't believe everything you read.
Don't
on the
believe
internet.
everything you read. Every time I post something for Jeff, he's like, that's not how you're supposed to use it. I'm like, whatever.
Okay, so how does this work? He's got some kind of bracket on there down
Yeah, he's got a thing that slides into the socket. So what's cool about this is I can get this in there.
Holy moly, what's going on there?
Then I can put this wherever I want. I came up with these hold downs.
Ooh, hold downs. Hold on a second. Tell me a little bit about these cammed hold downs.
Oh, let me get the wrenches to move these. So I can slide this guy down. That guy. So I got these blocks. Let's see how these work, like that. So I can register these anywhere, you know, so the guitar is going to go on the pads, right?
Yeah.
Then these guys, if I remember right, they're quick release. So I can slide this up and down. Then when they go back in, if they go back in, I can tighten them down like that.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that worked really, really well.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll include a parts list in the video.
Oh God, yeah. I have a bag full of extra parts if you need them.
Cool.
Yeah. So that was kind of fun to do.
Working out of your shop, in your house, in your apartment, how did that come about?
Okay, so I've been working out of my house for 18 years and 9 months. What happened was I was working in a music store in the East Village for 5.5 years, and had built up a really big clientele just with the repair stuff. And at a certain point, that shop became sort of not the greatest place for me to be, just for financial reasons. The repair portion of the store's income was eclipsing the retail portion. So what the owner was figuring out was that he kind of couldn't afford to keep me because I was taking home half the register every day. So he gave me a bunch of options on different scenarios where I would kind of work more for less money or rent space from him and be sort of a contracted person. And when I came home and told my fiance that at the time, I had just moved in with her, she says, like, her first thing was, yeah, none of those three choices. Quit and open up your own shop here. And I was like, no, that's not going to work. And she's like, no, you have, she said to me, people are coming to see you, not the store. So what does that tell you? Wherever you go, that's where the people will go. So because I'm a self-doubting person, I didn't think that was possible. And the financial fact was that all the tools belonged to the store. So, and I was broke. And she said, how much in tools do you need to open up your shop? So I said, at least $800 from like Stu Mac for like, files and everything. And she said, here's my credit card. So I quit January 4th, ordered everything that day.
What year was this?
2004. So quit January 4th, 2004. Ordered everything that day, opened up with my tools January 8th, and made a profit the first week.
Wow.
So in all things, my wife was correct on this.
Yeah.
And then every week was just better and better and better. And what I found was she was right, is that everybody was coming to me. Like, I got all of these clients from the East Village who didn't care where I was, and they were just coming up to me.
So you got a humdinger of a URL for your website, right?
Yeah. So that was a funny story. When we decided to do the business, the first thing, Allah is my wife, so if I refer to her as Allah, you will know who I'm talking about. She put up a website. I didn't know websites, but you needed to get a domain name. So she didn't know, like, we didn't know anything about this. This is 2004, so it's pretty early in domain names. So we were deciding on the business name, and the first thing I was going to be was Manhattan Guitar Repair, because, you know, I was in Manhattan. And then we went down to City Hall to register the business, because I had to register as a business. And I was about to plunk down on Manhattan Guitar Repair, and she's like, why don't you see if New York Guitar Repair had ever been taken as a business name? And nobody had ever taken it. So my business is New York Guitar Repair. Then we get home and we do the websites, and I think they were $10 each for the domain name at the time. So we took New York Guitar Repair, Manhattan Guitar Repair, and NY Guitar Repair. So I just own all three of those domain names, not knowing at the time what that would actually do as far as search engines and stuff like that. And you know, I've done a lot of lectures for, like, business talks for, like, GAL and Asia and stuff like that. And one of the things that I talk about is it was like sort of an unconscious stroke of genius that this is before people were, like, looking for things on the internet, really. They were just doing, like, phone books and crap like that. That nobody is looking for your name. People are looking for your location. So if you're, you know, Saskatchewan Guitar Repair, people are going to look for that rather than whatever your name is. And if that is your domain name, you're going to come up first.
Yeah.
So I had no idea that that was what we were starting, but it actually obviously worked out to our advantage. The other thing that I did, before I opened up my own shop, I was the first person, at least in New York, to advertise guitar repair on Craigslist. So for the store, I would say guitar repair at the store's name. And so people would come in because of that. And then when I opened up my own shop, I put out a little post that said, Evan from the store has left and opened his own business. So here's my, you know, website, blah, blah, blah. And so I advertised for about 3 or 4 months. And then I realized that it was just too busy for me to ever have to advertise again. So I just stopped advertising.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know if you noticed, I don't advertise. I don't let people mention me on forums. I don't do anything other than word of mouth referrals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say mentions on forums are going in the opposite direction these days. Like, anybody that arrives at your doorstep from a forum is probably going to be trouble anyway.
Yeah, so I'm super careful, like, you know, because a lot of people want to, like, they're like, oh, I'm going to rave about you. I'm like, no,
Please
like,
don't.
I don't do Yelp. I don't do any review thing because...
Does Google point to this address? Like, if you search guitar repair, does Google put a pin in the map for you?
I never looked, but the funny thing is that for years, if you Google mapped my address, and then you saw the photo of it, it was me outside talking to the landlord.
Yeah.
It was hysterical.
So the landlord thing, it raises interesting questions. I mean, so did you look at commercial real estate at all in the beginning? Or?
No, what we looked at was the legality of doing it. In other words, like, what did New York City allow for running a business out of your own home?
Yeah.
And what we found out was, I think the rules were, I could be cloudy on it now, was that it can't take up more than 30% of your living space.
Okay.
And since, you know, we were fortunate to always have really big apartments, it never did. And you can't have outside advertising, like a banner or a sign that points to you.
Fair.
And that was basically it. And in my old shop that I was at for 13 and a half years, I was lucky enough to be on the ground floor. So you know how, like, in Manhattan, like, you'll go to a building and there's a dentist in the lobby or a psychiatrist or something like this. in our building, you came to the lobby and there's a guitar repair shop in the lobby. And so that was really, really useful. And it was useful when we moved because we moved to a building that the same landlord owned. So when we were moving, and now we're on the 5th floor, we said to him, so, I need to put it in the lease basically that I can do this here without harassment from neighbors or anything. And he said, dude, you've been in my building for 13 and a half years running your shop and we've never had a single complaint, so I will sign anything that you
Very cool.
put there. So yeah, it worked out really well.
So, I know a lot of Looths now, and I know a large percentage of them are working out of their house. Some of them in garages, shops out behind the house. I mean, you're in an apartment.
Yes.
Like,
so
you're having people into
my home.
Your home.
Yeah.
Literally your home. And I've done a little bit of work in New York. I know that you can intersect with some crazy people.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I only work by appointment, so you can't just walk into my shop.
Okay.
I'm super strict with my hours and my appointments. And the other thing is, not advertising and not allowing people to put me on forums literally dictates my concept is that you will send people to me that you are comfortable with having in your own home. Mm-hmm. And other than, I think I'm at close to 8,000 customers or something like that. And other than one or two occasions where I was like, this guy's pretty weird and he needs to get out, it's been great. My customers are fantastic.
Okay.
And
all right.
It's never been a weird thing,
So by not casting a broad net on the internet, you're kind of selecting.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of what I think of, like, if you're afraid of trolls, don't go under a bridge.
Yeah. Yeah. When you were on the ground level, did you get the fishbowl effect? Did people want to look in and see some Loothing? Or?
Yeah. I mean, the best thing was I was super gluing some frets in on a D28, and I had the blinds open. And we have bars on the window because it's the ground floor and it's New York. And my apartment, my window wrapped around West End Avenue and 106th Street, which then leads up to Broadway. So that's a pretty busy intersection. And that was my old shop. And I look up and there's a homeless guy with a metal trash can, a New York City garbage can, throwing it against my window.
Oh, really?
So I put the super glue down, backed away from the guitar for a second, let it hit, and then just walked up to the window and closed the slats on.
Did he say what his problem was, or?
No, I could tell he was a purist, and me using super glue and not high glue was probably pissing him off. But
you may want to rethink your,
I get
your
that.
life choices.
There are ways to communicate, and then ways not to.
Like ink on a cardboard sign,
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Evan, what's your widget?
Well, I have two widgets.
Two widgets?
Two widgets.
All right, then.
Widgets. So, this.
A string.
It's a string. This may look like an ordinary piece of string.
How floppy is this string?
It has a tensile string. It's pretty darn strong, actually.
Okay.
So I will tell you how to get this string. Okay, then I'll tell you what to do with the string, because at this point, you probably don't want this string, but you will soon. Okay. So if you get a dampit, which is the humidifier thingy, there's a whole bunch of weird ones. That's not the string. That's the string. Comes with a string, right?
A string, you said.
Stringy thing. That's a homemade dampit. Do not try this at home. I can't tell you how bad this was. Anyway, I took this string, and what this string has done is, over the last million years, is removed about 100,000 knobs. So basically, you slip it underneath it, you pull it, and the knob just pops off.
Look at this.
So I like this better than this guy.
That seems a little cumbersome in comparison.
And this is metal.
Yeah.
Right? I don't like the fact that this can scratch anything.
Yeah.
And it's not visible when it's, so if I'm doing a 335, right, and I'm on this part of the guitar, where next to the F hole, where the wood is kind of weak there.
Yes, sir.
I like to see what I'm pulling up rather than having it be invisible. So with the string, I can just slip it underneath there and watch the wood or whatever as I'm pulling up.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes you have to work the string around a little bit to get it in there. But yeah, this thing has just been.
Has it ever been stumped and you had to go to the wing nut thing?
I mean, every now and then.
Every once in a while. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, PRS, 5-way rotaries that are recessed in the body. That's where that thing has a little problem. But what are you going to do?
Cool.
Widget 2. String on a stick.
String on a stick.
String on a stick. So
very string-oriented widgets today.
Why would you have a string on a stick, you say? Well, let's pretend that this instrument had no strings on it, and I wanted to check the pickups on it to see if things were working and functional. So I would plug it in. Remember, it has no strings. Then I could hold this over the pickups and play it.
String
So I
on a
can
stick.
test the neck pickup, tone control, bridge pickup. I can see if the pickups are in phase, if I have push-pull pots. I can see if they're doing what they're supposed to do. What's really good with this is, like, let's say I'm wiring a 335 harness or a semi-hollow body harness, and I have the whole thing outside the guitar, and the pickups mounted and everything coming out of the guitar.
Yes.
I can hold this over the pickups, check them, check all the functions before I load it in.
Before you load it in.
Then I can load it in piece by piece
Yeah.
and keep checking to make sure there's no broken solder connections
Outstanding.
or anything grounding out where I have to pull everything back out a little bit or adjust anything. And I can do all that without putting the strings on the guitar. So,
How? Any tips on how to make one of those? It looks like you got a tuner. Do you have like a little saddle piece in there? Or?
no, everyone I've seen who's made one has made theirs much more elegantly than made. This is some weird piece of flexible wood that I found a million years ago. Stuck a tuner through it, screwed it in. That's just a screw with through the ball end of a G string.
Yeah.
And tune it up a little bit. String on a stick.
Cool.
This string is 18 years old. This whole thing is 18 years old.
Looks like you could probably enjoy some like head shop incense with that as well.
Yeah, it is a little. I found this while following the Grateful Dead around.
I see that. I see that. All right, cool. Well, thanks for showing the widgets.
You are welcome. It's my pleasure.
Oh man, I don't have an end for this. Evan,
Ian.
I just got to the end of my video and I realized I don't have an end for it.
Oh, you want an ending?
Yeah, give me an ending.
The end.